All right, that story by Bramwell Bure will set the pace for the conversation tonight. Once again, allow me to appreciate the guests in studio, Suba Churchill, the Executive Director, Kenya National Civil Society Center, and also Robert Mbui, who is the Member of Parliament. KTN is joining us here tonight. Very quickly, looking back at politics, in fact, today we're going big on politics. You remember the Mutu Nampira goal, but of course it's not a very good day for Manchester. But if we look and liken what is happening in Kenya politics with the football, let me start with sitting Member of Parliament Robert Mbui. What would be your opening remarks to the Nyanza tour, the political events that unfolded, the utterances, even further into the body language? Welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, thank you, Anki. And first and foremost, I must say that I'm a very disappointed Kenyan and leader also. Having been with Baba in 2013, we supported him to the last man, who were there in 2017. After the 2017 elections, I'm the victim of political, can we call it violence or brutality of the police. My leg was broken when I was following Baba. Also, 2022, we supported Baba wholeheartedly. The latest move of seeming to cozy up to the regime has left us baffled, because just a few short months ago, we were in the streets with sufurias in our heads, and we said that we have issues with this Kenya Kwanza administration, things to do with the cost of living, things to do with excessive taxation, things to do with, the mess in the education sector, in the health sector. And we felt that we needed to hold them to account so that they could be able to serve Kenyans better.
All right.
And even soon after that, you remember the young generation called Gen Z also were in the streets. Now, it came as a slap in the face when members of the Azimio coalition, who belong to the ODM party, suddenly became part of government. And
I'm sorry to interject.
Yes,
because here's where the confusion is.
Yes.
There's the AUC bid, and the whole country has to support Raila Odinga, the president included. There's a broad-based government that is bringing us closer to accountability, according to Ruto. And there is the development that must go to the grassroots. Are you confusing this with Raila working with Ruto, which he denied?
You see, the broad-based government thing is a myth. It's a total hoax. What has changed? In Uhuru's government, there were people from Luo Nyanza that were in cabinet. 2 cabinet secretaries were from Luo Nyanza. In Ruto's government, they were there. People like Eliud Owalo. So what has changed suddenly that now we're being told it's broad-based? And I will tell you, I am also from Kenya. I come from Lower Eastern. We had 2 cabinet secretaries in Kenya Kwanza administration. The first reshuffle of the Kenya Kwanza administration, both of them were demoted. And the second time, when he was now making changes, he dropped one of them and returned one. So basically, and even the one who went back with a demotion. So for me, there's nothing broad-based. I think it's the problem we face in Kenya is we start planning for the next election immediately after we are elected, and you don't understand the constitution, we don't understand things like democracy, and we've abused the privileges of being given positions of leadership.
All right, I want to come back to that. We'll go even deeper into an analysis of that remark. But let me also appreciate Suba Churchill. Good evening.
Good evening.
Your opening remarks.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this discussion. And I think that picking up from where Mheshimiwa has left, what's going on is part of the dynamism of a democracy that is very nascent. We, the other day, just celebrated 14 years of Katiba, and anybody, whether it's a human person who is 14 years, is just at the early part of the teenage.
Yeah, the teenage.
And so what we are experiencing are challenges that come with a constitution that is in its teenage and that is beginning to discover itself. And so all these that are unraveling, all these things that you see serve to demonstrate that our political party system is still at that nascent stage. Remember, we were in single party era until 92, even though de facto There was no law barring people from polling de jure. But in reality, multipartyism, came for the generation that is alive today in 92.
All right.
And so we are still growing all these parties. A lot of them still revolve around personalities. And that's why, individuals, influential individuals, can, have so much influence in what happens at the national level and even in government.
All right.
And so when you look at UDA, for example, one may be tempted to ask whether there can be UDA without, William Ruto, whether there can be Wiper, that is a member of, without Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, whether there can be ODM without the Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Okay.
And so these are part of the dynamism that all political formations, including the established political parties in the United States of America and other, developed democracies have gone through. At one point, the party that today is called Democratic Party in the United States had the word Republican in its name. And so they kept on evolving until such a time that they were able to establish an equilibrium. And I think for us, ours is continually sliding,
all right,
hopefully towards greater democracy and stabilization, and until such a time that, we'll be able to talk about parties that can make decisions and run their affairs independent of the influential individuals and personalities that have either founded them or that those parties have been able to outgrow. And we are looking forward to, a situation where,
indeed,
for example, if Raila gets the AU job, that we'll be able to see how ODM operates without Raila being on the scene on a day-to-day basis.
All
so
right.
that is my take of what we see unfolding in the...
That is the political status quo, and we're coming back with this very key guest on this conversation. If you want to understand the twists and turns in the politics